So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into In the Hot Seat with me, Vinaya Bass. As you can see, I'm here with the handsome Luciano Jah Messenger, who's going to be performing at Emerald City Fest tomorrow, Sunday, the 17th of March. Sorry, forgive me. There's just so much going on that I'm losing track of days right now. But he is going to be at the Montserrat Cultural Centre's car park to give us a fantastic performance. So how are you this afternoon, Luciano?
Greetings, Empress. I give thanks. I'm giving thanks to the Almighty. Firstly, for making all things possible. And second, I give thanks for some well-needed rest, that I've been taking.
Indeed, and Montserrat is a very calm and cool and safe place. So I'm hoping that you're enjoying the tranquility of our beautiful island.
Wonderful. I've just met with a virgin DJ Diamond from the UK.
Okay, yes.
I think he came down for the festival too. So I just popped over by his house, and I was there chatting with him and his dad.
Nice. So he was in the sound clash that took place on Wednesday, I think.
Yes, man.
Indeed. So has he got one of your dubs?
Yes, man. He had some, and he was just telling me that he needed a special dub for Wednesday gone, but I think he didn't get the time to set it up. But anyhow, we had a nice chat, and he shared with me what do you call it in Montserrat, Dukuno?
Dukna.
Yes, Dukna. That thing that you. Yes.
They wrap up in the banana leaf.
Yes, you know it, man.
Yes. Do you have anything similar to that in Jamaica?
Yes, in Jamaica, I think they gave it a different name. I don't know why they call it blue jaws.
Blue jaws. Okay. So guys, if you're tuning in now, I am sitting down this afternoon with the fantastic double-nominated Grammy award artist, Luciano. I'm just going to go to the adverts quickly, and then I'll be right back. So just bear with me, okay?
No problem. God bless, man.
So welcome back, guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. I am, like I said, in the hot seat this afternoon with the incomparable Mr. Luciano. So Luciano, just for those who may not know who you are, like I said, those who may have been living under a rock since 1993, can you just tell us a little bit about who you are as an artist? Who you are as an artist?
Well, let me say, I started out in 1992. And, came from a rural parish of Manchester. I grew up in the church as a gospel singer, learning to play my guitar. My father was a carpenter, Mr. Arthur McClement. My mother, Miss Sophie McClement. From a family of 9, 5 sisters and 3 brothers. I'm the 7th child.
Oh, wow.
Started out singing in church. But but I grew up listening to Bob Marley, Dennis Brown, Peter Tosh, you know, you name it.
I'm hearing
Jimmy
myself.
Cliff.
I'm hearing myself for some reason. Do you have?
I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
I'm hearing myself. So do you?
I'm hearing myself. So do you have
something on?
What's going on here?
Something on?
Me?
No.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, we're talking. I don't know what's on. What's going on?
There's a delay. There's a feedback, it seems.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure why.
You want us to join back?
Yeah, remove yourself.
Yeah, remove yourself and then.
Okay.
So sorry about that, guys. Extremely sorry about that. For those who are tuning in, Luciano is here to perform at Emerald City Fest. So while we sort out the technical issues, I will just play the promo video for Emerald City Fest. So just bear with us.
March 17, 2024, Carnival City comes alive for Emerald City Fest. The Messenger, Luciano.
Greetings to all my fans. Montserrat, this is Luciano Jah Messenger, inviting one and all to the Emerald City Fest in Montserrat, when Terra X Promotion presents The Messenger in concert alongside George Nooks, Seat 9, Official Lord, on March 17, 2024.
Greetings and blessings.
Don't be late. Come and see The Messenger live and kick it. God's willing. Just say now, the Messenger. See you there.
Over my soul. All the way from Jamaica, George Nooks.
Hi, I'm George Nooks, and I'll be at Emerald City Fest. When you have troubles, don't cry.
And performing live from Montserrat, Silk, Knife, and Official Law. Early warm-up by Terra X Sound and Multiplex Eye Power. Your host on the night, Basil Chambers HD and Ibis the Livest. Get your tickets for $120 or you pay $135 at the gate. VIP is $350. Gates open and the show starts at 9 p.m. This event is powered by Terra X Promotions in association with Stylish Death Events. Sponsored by Mac, King Ocean Services, Ashton Supermarket, 44 Trucking, Churchgut Entertainment, and 44 Rentals. This one's an event you don't want to miss. Emerald City Fest 2024. Montserrat, the Messenger is coming.
It was a lonely night, a night like this, when I lay down on my bed.
So let's try again. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Can you hear me? I can hear you clearly.
Absolutely. That's perfect. So yeah, you were just telling us about the fact that you were 7 of 9 children. A middle
Yes.
child, and then you
started in the church. I grew up as an Adventist. I still observe the Sabbath, even though I got read out of the church at age 21. Because
when you say you got read out of the church, what does that mean? Is that when
all this time I was always loving my music, want to sing, you know. So sometimes I would be singing like a Dennis Brown or a Bob Marley, and back in the days they would label reggae music as devil music.
Okay.
And my brother, also brother Mac, he was very instrumental in getting them to read me out, because the day when they read me out, I was walking out and I felt like some eyes were looking at me from somewhere. So I made a quick turnaround to see him peeping at me from the vestry. So I know he was the culprit who asked him to read me out.
That is not nice. Yes.
But anyhow,
go on.
Anyhow, they didn't read out the word of God out of my heart. You know, for some reason, I've always had this spiritual awareness and always wanted to sing songs or say something that do things to help, you know, to inspire people. I'm always inspired by that. And then with the great works of Dennis Brown, Bob Marley, as I said, Sugar Minott, you know, Freddie McGregor, Jimmy Cliff. I grew up with such a rich heritage. I couldn't help but becoming also a messenger. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I didn't just start out singing reggae music, because, as I said, I never had no one I think they said Michael Prophet. He's from the same parish, Manchester. But when he got his break, he went to the UK, so I never saw him back. Garnet
Okay.
Silk also was from Manchester. So when I moved to Kingston, I met with him, and it was a great feeling, great vibes, great energy. Just talking with him, and I realized he was a very spiritual brother. He also inspired me, to the direction of my music, because I was always interested in singing things from the Bible or about the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1992, I did some dub plates for Ricky Trooper from Kilimanjaro Sound. And then he had a big clash with Stone Love Sound, and he invited me. It was kind of a new environment for me because, as I said, I was always in the church. So that night when he invited me, I wore one of my church suits to the sound clash. And at that time, Buju Banton was like the new sensation. He also, and Garnet Silk was in the same dispensation. So Stone Love was boasting with Buju Banton as their new artist, and then Ricky Trooper introduced me as his new artist. So that was like my main entrance into the reggae fraternity or the music fraternity. Even though I was always shopping around trying to find studios or producers, because that's the in thing. When you feel you have a talent you want to showcase. I went to Aquarius Records. I did my first single I did for them. As a matter of fact, it was Ricky Trooper who brought me to Aquarius Records. It was a big record shop in the center of Harvard.
Okay.
And there, Mr. Earl Hales gave me an audition. Same day they were running some rhythms. They were just running some rhythms, and I was just singing on these rhythms. But before even I came to Kingston, there used to be a jukebox in a little shop of my Mr. Denton, Mr. Denton, in our community, and I would go in, I would put like the coins and get the flip side of the 45, so you get the
Okay.
version. And I remember I used to just get the flip side and practice before, just learning to sing on rhythms. So that was like a hobby that I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
I
So you
guess
just
when you're destined to do something, you just any avenue you find, you would just go for it.
Yeah, I was just about to say that it seems that music was just in your bones, so you couldn't even avoid it even if you wanted to. But the good thing
Yeah, I'm
about
telling
it
you.
is that even though you said you were pushed out from the church, your music is still quite conscious compared to a lot of the music that's available today. Because I know
Sure.
that you're a devout Rastafarian right now, and you're known for cursing out slackness and vulgarity, in the current music that we're experiencing today. Because I
Sure.
feel like it's almost like there's a lack of love in the world these days. So how do you feel about the current music scene, especially knowing where you start from and the type of music that you produce?
Man, it's terrible what's going on, because it would seem as if like the audience out there, especially the younger generation, they go for anything that's party like or anything that's fascinating or sounds funny. If a man come and sing, say, "Mad him a mad out," and that could become a popular song. I said, what is going on here? And even in the video, I'm just like he's a madman and digging out a garbage pan. I said, wait, something really gone wrong. But even from I saw the new style of dressing where youths wearing their pants below their bottom and swagging. From I saw
Saggy.
that style, taking off, I said, something is really wrong. It's like mankind going backwards instead of going forwards.
Hmm.
You know.
It's really
So
true because we've
the-
lost standards, I think, these days.
yeah,
Before we had standards, but now it's like it's just less is more, and people don't realize that if you're going backwards, then the next generation coming after you is only going to go further backwards and backwards and backwards. So we need to maintain the standards that persons like you established.
Exactly. I am really worried. I'm concerned about the generation to come. Because if this is how they're living now, if these youths wear their pants below the bottom, next generation are gonna wear below their knee.
Or wear skirts.
You make a good point there.
So guys, before we jump,
so in terms of the musical content and what's going on out there, I'm also concerned because they're promoting and inciting violence.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a dance these days you go to a party, you have the gun finger up in the air every minute, man say bust at this and bust a shot for this and that. Before you know, people are everyone with their gun hand up in the air. So they're inciting violence in these dance halls.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't like when I speak like this, but it's the truth.
The thing is, music is the gateway to our soul, and people don't realize how much we pick up subconsciously. So if you're constantly hearing about firing guns and gunshots, and then you're going and you're playing a video game where you're just killing people, it's called desensitization, because after a while, killing someone comes like nothing. One of the things that I've been really pushing with these interviews is when these persons from overseas come here for this festival is that they don't bring the violence. And unfortunately, I've heard about some violence, and typically the island's a very safe place, but some of the youth coming from the UK are bringing that mentality with them where they can't just seem to party and have a good time. But I genuinely feel like the music that's pushed out in rap, the music that's pushed out in grime, the music that's pushed out in reggae, half the time you can't even understand what they're saying.
It's really rough. I don't know what we can do to change this. I've been lobbying for new laws or legislation somehow, if they bring in some form of legislation, just to at least govern the music, because the same way in which you can have speeding ticket, you should be able to have
Music ticket.
some form of legislation to govern the type of things coming out of the mouth of people. Well, even like say it's going to be hard to control these things, but at least in public places, like in taxis and in public transportation, like buses and on the train, I don't think anyone should be able to just come and just play any old garbage in the ears of elders and children and so on without having some form of control. There should be some form of responsibility, in everyone's mind,
Absolutely.
I think called accountability. We need a thing called accountability for whatever we do in this music business.
What's really interesting is that apparently in Africa, for Afrobeats, they're not permitted to use any violence or anything that's degrading in their music. They won't play it on the radio. And I know that Jamaica was considering stopping violent music from being played on the radio as well. So that's a start. So you mentioned public spaces. If it's a public radio or government-owned radio, it shouldn't be promoting this type of music. But unfortunately, the internet has opened up music so wide that most people don't even really listen to the radio. They're streaming. So I think it's a responsibility on the record labels as well, because sometimes it seems like there's an ulterior motive to push this negative music. And the more you push this music, the more you're rewarded. So I think
sorry, please. I'm getting some noise in the background. I can't get to hear what you're saying.
Probably. No, I was saying that it's the responsibility of the governments for government-owned radio stations to control the music, but it's also down to the record labels, because most young people these days do not listen to the radio. They stream music. So why is it that the record labels, who know that violence is increasing, why are they still allowing these musics to be produced in the first place and funding them? Because most of the lifestyle that the youth emulate is from music videos or what they see the rappers doing and things like that. So why are they force feeding us this when they know the negative connotations,
You're making you just made a very good point. And with that being said, I think there has to be some form of censorship even on the YouTube and even on the social media platforms. There has to be some form of control. I'm telling you, because I believe that the social media is like a gateway to hell in some cases, and it's informative, and it's like offering opportunity that you can always find tutorial about stuff that you need, and but as I say, in everything there's good and bad. But if you're not careful, there's more bad going on in the social media, as I
Yeah.
see. And I don't know. It seems as if when people come out and say some kind of crazy stuff and derogatory stuff, it seems to go viral even quicker than when they're trying to promote something that's elevated and inspirational. So this is a deep concern to me. Maybe this social media thing was designed to destroy the very consciousness of mankind. I don't know. Some
You know
countries
the
they
crazy
they
thing?
tend, they tend to monitor. They try to monitor and have control over social media thing, like in places like China and Korea and some other countries. But we wouldn't want it to reach to a level where we have no recreational activity and we have no freedom of speech. Would love for people to become more responsible in themselves and become more accountable for the things they do and say.
Mhm. Absolutely, but you know what? I think that as human beings, we're inherently negative. Because if I post something negative on my social platform, it gets way more traction than if I post something positive. So it says a little bit about us as individuals as well. And the other thing about social media, which is bad, is the algorithm. Because if you like something negative, the algorithm will keep feeding you more of that negativity. So if you're a racist, all you're going to see is racist
That's true.
content. So you have to be careful with what you're putting into your
Yes.
personal algorithm on these social media platforms. Because once you watch a video about something, that you're going to see more of the same thing. So if I start listening to you on YouTube, it's going to send me more revivals. But let me go and look at
Yes.
something violent. It's going to feed me more of that violence over and over again. So we have to be really conscious of what we're picking up subconsciously and consciously as well. But I don't want this to be a negative interview. We're here to talk.
No. It's not negative. Yeah, but we have to highlight these things because these are things of deep concern. You know.
Absolutely. So you were here you performed in Montserrat in 2018. Unfortunately, I was living in the UK at the time and I had been here the previous year in 2017. And a fun fact is that your band actually stayed at my mum's house, which is interesting. And Soko is my
Wow.
cousin. Yeah, so they had a wonderful time there and she speaks fondly of them and of you. She's a big fan. So if there's one show my mum's attending, it's definitely Luciano Emerald City.
Oh, I'm honored. I'm really honored.
Yes. So how does it feel to be back in Montserrat? Is there anything different from when you came in 2018?
But honestly, as you know, Montserrat is a place. It's like it's not a huge place where you can get lost easily. Yeah, like everyone knows someone in this village. It's like a village, and I feel like I'm
Yes.
home in my own village. As I say, I was hanging out with Diamond and his dad, and we were having a good talk, and we were just talking about the good old days, the good old days. So it's nice that we can at least revisit our past and at least take time to reflect on how the good old days used to be before things got to where they are today. So
Absolutely.
it's like a pilgrimage for me.
Mm. So what would you say makes Montserrat different from Jamaica? Because you expressed that there's loads of similarities. You feel like you're at home. What would you
Yes,
say is the big difference between the two?
well, the people are warm, good energy, and you really feel at home. And in coming on the ferry, there were some of my fans saying hi. Lots of them taking pictures, and they come up to me, and you feel welcome. I feel that welcoming spirit. That
Absolutely.
it's like a homecoming. This Emerald City Festival is like a homecoming festival for us.
Yeah, so I have Lorraine Osborne online saying 2018 Luciano was the best. He's so humble and I enjoyed his performance so much.
Give thanks, give thanks. You know what? How many hotels are here on the island?
So right now we have 2 or 3 main hotels. So we have Tropical Mansion Suites. We
Okay.
have the Viewpoint Hotel. But for the most part, people usually rent out villas.
That is it.
Yeah.
That is it. So a
So
lot of Airbnbs.
yeah, something similar to that because we lost a lot of our infrastructure because of the volcano. So we lost a couple
So
of
I've
hotels
learned.
back
So
in
I've learned.
Plymouth.
So
So
sad.
because
So
of that, we're
sad.
only inhabiting a quarter of the island at the moment. But yeah, so right now that's probably one of the things that we need someone to invest in. So if you have some spare cash, you can definitely invest in a hotel here in Montserrat.
Definitely, definitely. But and I think this is why we feel at home because most of the accommodation is like Airbnbs or you spending time with some family member and some people make their homes available. So this is why we feel at home. I can get up and do my cooking and all. You can't cook as you like in hotels.
Absolutely. So my uncle Adrian Carty is saying, let you know that the band chief is still here and will be coming to the concert too. Lorraine Osborne is tuning in from London. We
Nice,
have a lot of
nice.
fans on today. But some people may have missed the beginning of our conversation. So you said that you started out in the church, and I know that in 2023, Rolling Stones ranked you as number 143 on its list of the greatest singers of all time. How does it feel to be coming from obviously not a small island like Montserrat, but an island in itself, and to be receiving worldwide acclaim like that?
Well, I tell you, it just humbles me more. And when I look back and see where I'm coming from, and where I have to give all the glory to the Almighty God, because even sometimes I have to pinch myself and say, "Bye, Jeff, that you really come fine." Sometimes I have to talk to yourself and say, "Man, can you believe this? This is a great achievement." And even with the Grammys, when I was nominated twice, I went to the ceremony and the whole thing, this whole the prosperity, the blessing, the joy, everything that has come with my efforts and over the years of hard work and endeavor, it pays off. And it pays to do good music. That's another thing. If I was singing garbage and singing some trash, I would make it. And I've just gone recently to watch the One Love Bob Marley music and
Movie.
the movie. And first, I went and watched a musical in the UK. I was
Okay.
there, and we were invited as special guests, by Ireland, Miss Suzette from Ireland, Jamaica. The
Okay.
Ireland, the
Island
label,
Records. Island
Island
Records.
Records,
Yeah.
Island Records, yes. And it was a nice musical, and I think I made a suggestion that they should put this thing into a movie. So I don't know if they listened clearly or took my advice.
So you were the
Because
inspiration
when
for
I
the
hear that
film.
movie, I say, wow, this is great. So I'm thinking of making my own movie now because I'm really inspired.
Absolutely. And just to touch on the point that you made, because you took the words out of my mouth, because you've made great music that would live beyond you, that's going to live through the test of time, because it's not focused on a certain era, it's not promoting violence or anything like that. So, and it just shows you that you don't have to do all of that to have a successful career, because here you are, like what, 30 years or nearly 40 years later? Is it 30
30,
years?
30 odd years. Yes.
Yeah. And you're
And
still
still,
there and performing worldwide.
yeah, and still relevant, and the message is still needed because people need inspiration. It's nice to have a little party here and there, but You can't be partying all day long and right through the week. At least one day out of the week, you need some time to reflect, to look into your life and see what's going on, if there's anything needed to be done. And as I say, as I watched the movie, Bob Marley's One Love movie, it just brought home to me that my life is like a movie itself. Because when I left Manchester High School, I couldn't get a job. So I ended up selling in the marketplace.
Okay.
And I was there for some time. I was selling oranges first, then I started selling ice cream cakes, which was like a easier commodity to come by. And I started selling ice cream cakes in the streets of Montego Bay. So even from those early years, I learned the art of communicating with people. And even the slogan, I had a slogan: ice cream cakes, only $2 for one. Speak up before I move on. I do not tarry for long. And I would sing a song as I go along. And people would say, hey, come on, what did you say? I say, ice cream cakes, only $2 for one. Speak up before I move on. I do not tarry for long. And they would laugh and buy out the cakes, So even from those early days, I knew the power of words. Word is powerful. And if you sing words that cannot, because when you send words out, it's like you send energy out into the universe. And the universe extrapolates whatever you say and send it back to you.
Absolutely.
In 10
so God
goals.
said it best. He said first was the word. God said first was the word, and the word was with God. So that word's powerful.
Definitely.
And people take that for granted, because sometimes someone can beat you down physically, but sometimes someone can say something and that just hits you in your soul, and that stays with you.
Just one little word sometimes can change your course in life.
Mm-hmm. And that's why it's important as well to, especially with someone like yourself, obviously you're going to be 60 this year. So congratulations for making this far, because I know that there's lots of young people who are not even living to that age right now. But what do you do as an artist to help the young talent that's coming behind you? Because we already discussed how negative the music has become. So do you help to nurture talent in Jamaica, and are you pulling somebody up with you?
Yes. What really happened, even Black History Month and Reggae Month, one of the busiest months of the year. I don't know why they had to put Black History Month and Reggae Month in the same, and Bob Marley's celebration and Peter and Dennis Brown. It's too much of a short month for so many great things to be happening. But anyhow, that's one of my busiest time in the music, because I have to visit schools. I give speeches, motivational speeches. We do workshops and so on. And we have other young artists coming up doing their thing too. Milton Blake, you can look out for that young man. He's a very conscious, prolific, very gifted brother also. And quite a few others who are coming up, they're doing their thing. And I'm trying to, as much as possible, at least be a source of inspiration for them. There's also this Brandon Roots. I wanted to look out for him. We have a combination that's out there, Without the Greed. It's a video that has been premiered. I want you to check it out. We have some very powerful messages coming out there, for the fans and for the generations to come.
So obviously, I'm sure that loads of people listening, if you have a favorite Luciano song, drop it in the comments. But obviously, I know you for It's Me Again, Jaja, Sweep Over My Soul, Lord, Give Me Strength, and all of those. So when you're stepping into the studio with your pen, I assume that you write most of your music. What inspires you? Where does it start for you?
Well, it depends. I can walk into the studio and I hear a rhythm and immediately I catch a vibe, because It's Me Again, Ja was one of such songs. When I remember, I have to give props to some of the greatest producers of all time. Mr. Philip Burrell, aka Fatis, great producer.
Okay.
I also want to acknowledge Mr. Brown, Mr. Castro Brown from New Name Music, Mr. Derek Barnett, great musician, Mr. Noel Brown, he passed away, God bless his soul. speaking of loved ones passing away, we just lost a great icon, Peter Morgan.
From
John,
Morgan Heritage. From
may
Morgan
his soul
Heritage,
rest. He's from the Morgan Heritage, yeah. He's a young man for me, you know. I think he was just gonna turn 46 or 45.
okay.
Yes, and so I even want to encourage young artists coming up. It's not all about singing and making yourself popular, making singing on stage and become successful in the business. You also have to maintain a lifestyle that will ensure your longevity.
Hmm.
It don't make sense you force your body too much, or don't take care of your temple. It's one God has given us one temple. This is the first temple that the Lord God has given us before any other churches and all other things were built. This is how we start worshiping God, through our living bodies, you know. So they
Hmm.
should take time to live properly, eat properly, take time for exercise and all these things, and maintain a healthy lifestyle, you know.
So
Make
we
sure you
have
get your supplements and all that.
mhm. So I have Shea Mara Gerald here saying, Luciano, your words offer so much wisdom and is inspirational. You are a true artist. I have never seen an artist perform for hours and hours like you. Stay blessed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so back to the question, because that speaks a lot to your catalog. So you mentioned that obviously you have to give homage to the greats, but what really
Yeah.
inspires you when you step into the
So
studio with
that's
that?
it. When we walk into the studio, I heard the rhythm. Let me also acknowledge Mr. Slide from Slide Dunbar and Mr. Robbie, Sly and Robbie from the Taxi Gang. Because when I
Okay.
walk in the studio, he was there building the rhythm. And from I heard the rhythm,
For which
I,
song?
I felt myself in a prayerful mode. Immediately I felt like praying. And this is how I started out. Glory be to the Most High God, hallowed be thy name. But before that, I said, ah, glory, hallelujah. Wow. That's the first note that came out of my mouth.
Wow.
And from then on, I was just praying. Because you see, when you do something become a part of you, it's always easy to find words if you're called upon. That's something like if you study a scripture, if you know your Bible, or you know some words of wisdom, you can always, if you're called upon, you can always, it's like a reservoir. You always have things within your mind or your consciousness. So you can always find a line or some, and then when you play an instrument, it's like a plus for you because what the instrument does, it helps you with melodies.
Mhm.
So I'm saying, when you read a lot, you have a lot of history, you can talk about stuff, and then you can sing. Then when you play your instrument now, it helps you with the melodies. And not only not only does it help you with the melody, but it also helps you how to write, formulate, to arrange the music. You
Mhm.
know, but after a while of singing on a certain rhythm or practicing your instrument, playing, you automatically know which way to go with the melody, just in case you hear you feel a certain vibration.
Okay. So that
So all
makes
these
you
things,
a well-rounded artist. So that makes you a well-rounded artist.
that is it. That is it. So it's a combination of stuff. You have knowledge that somehow you can dip into your reservoir. You have melodies because you also have a storehouse of melodies.
Hmm.
And then you have words because you've always been practicing to use these words, and these words become a part of you.
Absolutely. So we were actually talking, you were talking about instruments there, and we have Sharon Dyer who's saying the true Messiah, especially the lady on the saxophone, it shows a proper vibes. Band and brass section is out of this world. sure he will have his favorite author as well. So I wanted to ask you as well, like, who have you brought along with you? Like, who have you brought in your band? Have you brought that special lady on the saxophone with you, or are you performing mostly to tracks?
Funny enough, my saxophonist is not here with me on this trip, but we have two keyboardists, and we have harmony singers and so on. We wanted to carry more. We wanted to bring like the percussionists and so on, but we couldn't bring the full band based on the situation. We just had to do a little cut back. Downside.
Yeah. So we were.
But if next time, if all goes well, we can bring the whole band. Like percussionists, saxophonists, harmony singers, and choreographers.
So we were speaking earlier about the fact that you were thrown out of the church, and for some of us, even myself, because you speak so much about God, right? But you're a devout Rastafarian. What would you say is the difference between Rastafarianism and Christianity? Is there a difference?
You see, what I find in searching, because even when I was in the church, I was still searching, and to a certain extent, I think the elders in the church could not understand me, and somehow I felt in myself this freedom of expression. I felt like there was this part of me that wanted to explode while I was in the church. Yes, you can sing gospel songs, but gospel songs are mainly geared on worship. Gospel songs are for worship. To me, when you go in the church, you sing, you give praise to God, and you worship. But if you want to chant down Babylon and chant down the arms of dumb pressure, you can't sing them things in church. That's the truth. No,
But to be fair, right? Isn't it ironic because Babylon is in Revelation and it is in the Bible, but I think these days, if I'm truly honest, church has become more about motivational speaking and talking about what's the word for it? Prosperity gospel. So we're only talking about the good side of life and the things that you can achieve if you come to church. And if you come to church and you pray for everything, that everything is given unto you. But we cannot ignore that the devil is alive and kicking in society right now. So sometimes you have to shout down Babylon.
Yes, but in the church, it's not like the church is not the perfect platform. The church is not the perfect platform to chant down Babylon. To me, it's this place for worship. People come together and they sing praises. We're together again, just praising the Lord, and we sing glory, glory, you sing praises. But if you want to say, we get up and run away, all them kind of song there, so the reggae coming as a real powerful source and base through it, and a platform on which we can chant down the wicked Babylon system and, express yourself and talk about our roots and the ancestry, where we're coming from, how we've been brought into the Western Hemisphere in the slave shape. You can't sing about these things in the church, honestly. And as a matter of fact, you're limited. When I perform like in the gospel, when I do gospel concerts, that's another thing. Somehow, I don't know if it's my own personal experience, but sometimes in the church, you're not remunerated properly either. You could do a lot of gospel concerts and you get a lot of money pull up and whole of encores. And God bless if they will turn to you and say, well, all right, Mr. Mark, you did well tonight. Here's a little blessing. Every time I go to my elder and say, Elder, concert was nice. I wonder if, and I say, yes, Brother Mike, you did well. So say, so is there any little remuneration or anything that, coming, in my door? Say, well, the Lord will bless you. The Lord will bless you, Mackie. So this is what I kept getting. And then to prepare yourself for this festival, for these concerts, you have to build a suit, You have to come out looking nice. You can't just come sing and you have other people from other churches come and say, "Come on to look good." So when you spend all this money now, you get drive transportation and all this thing and go, and they don't remunerate you. You know, it was kind of discouraging. You know, I don't know if other people out there feel the same vibes, but that's what I felt in the church. No, I come in when I start doing job works. After I was read out of the church, I start practicing my reggae the right way, you know, and then work my way into the music system. I started doing songs like "Sweep Over My Soul," "Lord Give Me Strength," and some other big songs. Then the church, the minister invited me back. They wanted me to come back in the church, you know.
Mhm.
And it was a very nice gesture, but I could never entertain it. I said to the pastor, "Reverend, I came onto my own and they knew me not." I remember the words of Christ. So you asked me how I have grown into Rastafari. Because even, as I say, during the church, I was searching. But even the Bible speaks about the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And I was always searching to find who would come to fulfill this prophecy. The one name written upon his vesture, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, conquering land of the tribe of Judah. So when I studied my history, I realized that in 1930, His Majesty was coronated as the 225th Emperor of Ethiopia. Because if the Bible gives us a prophecy, we have to look out for the prophecy. You see, a lot of people have neglected that part of the Bible. And when it comes to His Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie, who is the 225th Emperor of Ethiopia, on that same throne was King Solomon. And the Bible speaks highly of King Solomon and King David and all these great kings who have fought many spiritual battles for Jah. So we cannot separate, there's no way we can separate our history from our roots. So I'm saying, so the more I study and go deep into my roots, is the more I find that Rastafari is I and I, advocate, is defender of the faith, the Christ-like faith that we speak about. The defender of the faith is His Majesty. When you look and see, because remember now, in 1931, Ethiopia was attacked by Mussolini, right? And their intention was to destroy all churches, and they burned many books, history books, Bibles, and so on. So they meant on destroying the very fabric of Christianity out of Ethiopia. This is why Lalabella was created, because Lalabella Church was actually carved out of a stone mountain. And the reason why they did that, because up in the mountains, those fascists could never climb into the mountains to go and attack that tabernacle, because the tabernacle was too high up in the mountains. And even the high priest, they had to climb on ropes to go down into the Lalabella church. And it is alleged that this is where the Ark of the Covenant is kept. So you see how well entwined and connected Christianity is to our roots and our history. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. And they try to cover up, because first, as the Bible speaks, first the Lamb came and He was slaughtered or crucified. First He came as a lamb, and then He came as a conquering lion. You know. Are you there with me?
I am. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Sorry. Yes,
Yes,
I can hear you clearly.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so
So I was saying,
that history, because that's fantastic.
so Christianity and Rastafarian tradition is like hand in hand. It's like brother and sisters, like the foundation and the fulfillment. Because first He came as a lamb, and then He came as a conquering lion. And the lamb was slain, but the lion comes to rule and reign. And
Another
when I read
thing
my
that,
Bible, when I
yeah.
read my Bible, Ethiopia is mentioned about 62 times in the Bible.
Mhm.
There must be
So I
something
guess
special about this place, Ethiopia. Must be something special
absolutely.
about. Yes, go ahead.
I think it's where men originated from, because obviously we have all these false doctrines also in Christianity where there's almost been this whitewash, this Europeanism of Christianity where it doesn't make sense that a white Jesus came out of Africa. So that's where I think sometimes things get a bit mixed up and muddled,
Yeah.
because there's the tribes of Judah, right? So that those came from Africa and the original Israelites and stuff like that. And I think that over time those people have migrated across the world, and sometimes voluntary and involuntary through things like slavery as well, because lots of our people were enslaved, and that's why we're here in the Caribbean. That's why you're there in Jamaica as well. So because we've been taken away from our source, from our original homeland, we've lost our history. So, and like you said, a lot of the historical books were destroyed back in the day as well. So in a lot of ways, we don't even really know sometimes if what we're reading is the truth or someone else's definition of the truth, because as you know, history is his story. It might not be our story, but it's definitely his story. And that's why I think part of the reason why the children are going off the rails these days is because they don't read, and a lot of them don't really understand their history, and they don't understand that we are powerful beings. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, opportunities are available for everybody. And even someone like yourself who's coming out of Jamaica, another small island like ours in the bigger scheme of things, you've demonstrated that it doesn't matter where you come from, that if you really push and you work hard and you have faith in God, that you can go anywhere. And that's the same thing that I carry with me. I never restrict myself based on where I come. So I think that's what's lost with the youth, because even when I moved to England, one of the things that I found very interesting and something that we lack here in the Caribbean is we're very Americanized or very European in the Caribbean. So even in every other country, I've seen rites of passage. So where the elders will take the youth, the young boys especially, out into the forest to teach them how to become a man, and teach them and give them the tools and that mentorship that they need to grow. But I think that that's also lacking here in the Caribbean. And when you think about things like, when I first went around Africans, I saw things like naming ceremonies and things like that that we don't have here. And also the way how we approach marriages and stuff like that. And I think that those are some of the things that we lost when we came through the Middle Passage over here to the Caribbean, because we took up a lot of the European practices and we lost a lot of who we were when we left Africa. So what are your views on that?
Well, as I said, there's a lot of tradition that we have lost. And I think what we should do, or at least try to do, is afford the opportunity to people, to even some of these youngsters, to take a trip. And I would advise, because a lot of our brothers and sisters, members of the African diaspora, who have made it, some have gone to the like America and England, other metropolitan areas, and have made it big and have made it successfully, but have never taken time out to go and visit their motherland or the continent. I would advise them to take a trip and experience what you have been missing for all these years. This is something I'd like to encourage them, because one can tell you all kind of stuff, but when you experience for yourself, is a different thing. A lot of people, they take ticket and they buy ticket, they go to Vegas and they go lose their money and come back, work hard, save the money again, and go on cruises and go all over the place. But they never take time to go and visit their motherland. And that is a wrong thing that they're doing. I would encourage my brothers and sisters, especially the younger generation, Once you have the opportunity and you've made it and you have the ability, you have the funds, you can do it. Buy yourself a ticket. Go to the motherland. When you have a first-hand experience, it's a different thing than when you read from books and then what you see in the movies, you know.
What you see on television as well, because to be
What you
honest,
see on television.
most of us,
Yeah, that's another thing. Because tell live
sorry,
vision. Tell live vision. Yes, yes.
before I went to the UK and actually met Africans, my perception of Africans were just people who were on TV with flies flying around them in poverty and really downtrodden. So the media plays a big role in things like that. So even when you think about things like, what was it recently? But most of the times when they tell us about diseases, they'll typically use an African person as the imagery to show you how downtrodden Africa is. One of the things I always say is like, if Africa is so poor, why are they so interested in Africa when Africa is indeed one of the richest places in the world?
You know what? What's a good thing about, as I say, technology? There's good and bad to it because with the help of even TikTok, a lot of people seen a lot of different sides and the proof and the truth about Africa. When you go to places like Nairobi, you go to Gambia and you go to all this, you go to Ghana, go to South Africa. South African airport, when I walk through South Africa, it was the first airport I go without. You don't have to even take out the passport. Them scan all your eye and know if you healthy, if you get. You don't have to. To me, they're so high tech in Africa right now. I think Africa is way ahead. You know, against what I mean, what the propaganda may say and what they're trying to push forward to us.
Mm-hmm.
We have long gone past that stage. We know that Africa is the mother of civilization. And when you think about some of the greatest men who have traveled the face of the earth, even some of the great men who have been making changes all over the world, they're from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just honored to be a part of this great people, you know. And I just want my fans out there and like the younger generation to take time out, study a little more about your history and about your continent. You know more about your roots. It's very important, very important. And you think about it, you can type in things on the social media. You can YouTube a lot of stuff and study a little more about the continent instead of just watching some of amusing videos that make you laugh. Type in something and you know and find out more about your country, your motherland.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's jump into tomorrow, right? Let's find out a little bit about what you have in store with us. So, what can the audience expect? Are you obviously? I know that everybody wants the oldies, the tracks that they grew up to, and stuff like that. But are you introducing any new music in your set?
But I find, yeah, man, I have some new stuff, and I think sometimes if you perform for your fans, and it's always nice. They can always come and sing along with songs that they know. It's not too wise to give them too many new songs that they don't know because they might just be standing and listening to them.
Oh, yes.
but I have such a vast catalog that I can find songs that I used to sing years ago and just remix it and give it to them and them feel nice and I think one of the greatest things that my fans would love to see to come out and see the messenger alive and doing his work still and still kicking it, and they can sing along and dance with me. So it's a good vibes. The rehearsal was good. The musicians are poised and ready. We're all geared up. Mr. George looks also. We're ready to perform for the people. And I know the other artists who are on the building, they're also prepared to make this Emerald City Festival a big one.
Absolutely. So, in terms of the last time that you were here in 2018, what was the vibe of the Montserrat audience then? What makes the Montserrat audience different from, say, another audience? What were they into? Were they lively? Were they?
Well, honestly, I have to say that because this is not one of those regular countries that you can just jump on a plane and jump in there. You have to take a ferry and all these things to come. So I think they really appreciate. We as Rasta we say appreciate love. I think they really appreciate love when we take that journey and come and sing for them. They really show that reception, that appreciation, and the vibes, people singing along and having a good time. And there's no doubt that my fans here in Montserrat, they know how to have a good time.
Fantastic. So one of the things that you're known for is for being very humble. And that's a word that's been associated with you, even here in the comments and just in general. I think my mum met you and the first sentiment was that you're a very humble guy. How have you managed to stay so level-headed and humble at this point in your career, 30 years on, and obviously you're a man of international acclaim? So how have you managed to stay so humble?
I think knowledge goes a far way, And when you realize that we're all in this thing together and we're one big family, and then in the talent that God has given us, it's not for ourselves, it's really to help others and to also, glorify Him. So when you realize your purpose and realize your ability is not of you, that your talent and all these things is of God, the Creator who gave you all this. The body, your mouth, your voice, every part of you that you're using is of God. So then you can humble yourself because you realize that we're just vessels for the Almighty. And you see, when you know that, you can't be like the aloof and the people who are pedantic or people out there who think that they are better than other people. And one thing about artists, I want to tell some of these young artists, you have to remember that it's your fans that build you. And if you hype on your fans, it's the biggest mistake, my brother and my sister. Take time out to realize that your blessing, count your blessing, and give glory to the Almighty for all that you have received.
Absolutely. We have someone here in the comments saying, Luciano, how can I get some dub plates from you for my sound system? God bless.
All right, we'll have the number sent to you. We'll have the contacts.
Yeah,
I'll have my son.
I'll include in the caption of this video. You've turned upside down there. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know what happened.
What?
I think we're having some technical difficulties. So whilst Luciano sorts out his video there, he's frozen. I'm just going to play the advert for Emerald City Fest. So those of you who have just tuned in and just joined the conversation, the purpose of our interview today is really to promote Emerald City Fest that's taking place tomorrow. So take a look at this video and I'll just reach out to his team to just find out what's happening with the video. So sorry about this.
March 17, 2024, Carnival City comes alive for Emerald City Fest. The Messenger, Luciano.
Greetings to all my fans. Montserrat, this is Luciano Jah Messenger, inviting one and all to the Emerald City Fest in Montserrat, when Terra X Promotion presents The Messenger in concert alongside George Nooks, Seat 9, Official Lord, on March 17, 2024. Make it a date and don't be late. Come and see The Messenger live and kick it. God's willing. Just say now, Jah Messenger. See you there.
Over my soul.
All the way from Jamaica, George Nooks.
Hi, I'm George Nooks, and I'll be at Emerald City Fest. When you have troubles, don't cry.
And performing live from Montserrat, Silk, Knife, and Official Law. Early warm-up by Terrax Sound and Multiplex Eye Power. Your host on the night, Basil Chambers HD and Ibis the Livest. Get your tickets for $120 or you pay $135 at the gate. VIP is $350. Gates open and the show starts at 9 p.m. This event is powered by Terra X Promotions in association with Stylish Death Events. Sponsored by Mac, King Ocean Services, Ashton Supermarket, 44 Trucking, Churchgut Entertainment, and 44 Rentals. This one's an event you don't want to miss. Emerald City Fest 2024. Montserrat, the messenger is coming.
It was a lonely night, a night like this, when I lay down on my bed.
So guys, we're still having a little bit of technical difficulty. My apologies. I'm trying to get in contact with his team just to find out what's happened because he's actually dropped out of the conversation. But just check out this video from our sponsor, Silk and Villa, while I try to rectify the issue. My apologies. So I said, hold on. So guys, my apologies. I absolutely don't know what happened there. As you know, sometimes here at Montserrat we lose electricity. Sometimes our broadband drops out. But I have 2 free tickets to Emerald City Fest to give away. Emerald City Fest is taking place tomorrow in the Cultural Centre. Let me just read out the details for you. So the gates open at 6 p.m. tomorrow at the Montserrat Cultural Centre car park. And the show starts at 9 p.m. So originally it was supposed to be in Salem, then it moved to Festival City, and now we're in the Montserrat Cultural Centre car park, the same venue that All White took place at last night, and Stratify is taking place at tonight. And then tomorrow we're going to be with Mr. Luciano himself at Emerald City Fest in the Cultural Centre, well, in the car park of the Cultural Centre. I have to say, I went to All White last night and the stage is pretty impressive. So you're not going to be let down at all, even though we're not in Salem. So just to give you some details about the event itself, hopefully I'm trying to get the promoter to connect them back again. But in the meantime, let me tell you about the event. So Emerald City Fest is a Terra X Promotions in connection with Stylish Deep. And it's going to take place tomorrow, as I said, from 6 p.m. in the Montserrat Cultural Centre. Other special guests alongside Luciano and his friends include George Nooks, Silk 9, our reigning Montserrat Calypso competition king. So he won the crown in 2023, just December gone. And he's obviously a fantastic reggae singer as well. So you can definitely look out for a performance from him and also a performance from Official Lord. So advanced tickets for Emerald City Fest are currently $120 and admission at the gate. So just bear with me, guys. Actually, his team is ringing. So I'll just play another video for you and I'll be right back. Just bear with me.
March 17, 2024, Carnival City comes alive for Emerald City Fest. The Messenger, Luciano,
Greetings to all my fans. Montserrat, this is Luciano Jah Messenger, inviting one and all to the Emerald City Fest in Montserrat when Terra X Promotion presents The Messenger in concert alongside George Nooks, Seat 9, Official Lord on March 17, 2024. Make it a date and don't be late. Come and see The Messenger live and kicking. God's willing. Just say now, Jah Messenger. See you there.
Over my soul.
All the way from Jamaica, George Nooks.
Hi, I'm George Nooks, and I'll be at Emerald City Fest. When you have troubles, don't cry.
And performing live from Montserrat, Silk, Nice, and Official Law. Early warm-up by Terra X Sound and Multiplex I Power. Your host on the night, Basil Chambers HD and Ibis the Livest. Get your tickets for $120 or you pay $135 at the gate. VIP is $350. Gates open and the show starts at 9 p.m. This event is powered by Terra X Promotions in association with Stylish Death Events. Sponsored by Mac, King Ocean Services, Ashok Supermarket, 44 Trucking, Churchgut Entertainment, and 44 Rentals. This one's an event you don't want to miss. Emerald City Fest 2024. Montserrat, The Messenger is coming.
It was a lonely night.
So guys, unfortunately, they're having technical difficulties. So that's the end of our conversation with Luciano, unfortunately. Like I said, sometimes here in Montserrat, the internet drops out and all kind of stuff. So that's what they're experiencing. So they're finding it difficult to reconnect to the studio. But before I go, I definitely want to give away 2 tickets still. So get your typing fingers ready. When we started off the conversation, Luciano mentioned the year that he started out in music. So if you can tell me, the first person to tell me the year that Luciano started out in music, you will win a free ticket to Emerald City Fest. So if you can tell me the year that Luciano started out in music, you win a ticket to Emerald City Fest, which is taking place tomorrow. Tickets are $120 EC dollars. So if you win a ticket, that is a nice little saving there for you. 2017, Loretta Daly is incorrect. He's been around for way longer than that. So if you can tell me the year that Luciano started out in music, you win a free ticket. Unfortunately, Loretta Daly is incorrect. Anybody else? Feel free to search on the internet if you like, but he definitely mentioned it at the top of our conversation. 1985, I'll give you guys a clue. It's in the 1990s. It wasn't in the 80s. It's in the 1990s. So if you give me the answer correctly, you win. 1985, 1986, 1982 were all incorrect. And Sherilyn Woods, you are absolutely correct. It was 1992. So Sherilyn Woods, you win a ticket to Luciano. Let me just take a note of your name. Sherilyn, if you can DM me and just let me know if you want the ticket to be under your name, if you're here on the island, or if you'd like me to put someone else's name on the gate, that would be fantastic. But I've just made a note of your name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a quick promo because the voice is here on the island. Sorry, Sherilyn has won the first question, but I have one more ticket to give away. But before I do that, I just want to jump to this quick promo for Stratify because the voice is here on the island. Based on my screen, Sherilyn came up first. So let me look at the Facebook chat because I want to be fair and I only have 2 tickets to give away. So just bear with me because people appeal very often in these comments. So Sharon Dyer, unfortunately, both on my screen in front of me and on the Facebook chat, Sherilyn Woods did come up first. And so she wins the first ticket. So the answer to what year did he start off in music? That was 1992. So thank you very much, Sherilyn, for participating and everybody else. So like I said, let me just jump to a quick video from, it's only 20 seconds, with the voice straight out of Trinidad. He's going to be performing at Stratify tonight. So 1 second. And here he is.
Yo, Montserrat, we are here. Your shitty voice is sour. You all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. And this weekend, 85, right? Good vibes, good energy. I can't wait to see Montserrat for the first time. Crazy vibes. Coming soon. Montserrat, yeah, bless someone.
Right, guys, so that was The Voice. He's here to perform at Stratify tonight, which is taking place from 10 p.m. in the Montserrat Cultural Centre car park. He's going to be supported by other fantastic artists, and I'll just give you a rundown. So on the set list for tonight, we have The Voice, we have Triple K, we have Young Brother, we have Pimpin', and we have DJ Hottie. And straight after this, I'm personally heading to It's Fashion, which is going to be taking place at Moose's Place here in Little Bay. Also on the list for today's events, we have the St. Patrick's dinner and gala that's taking place at the Viewpoint Hotel, with all proceeds going to the Roman Catholic Church and also to St. Augustine Primary School. So if you want to support a worthy cause and enter a fine dining experience, please do head down to the Viewpoint Hotel today. I think it's from 6, let me double check that, so that I give you the right information. But as usual, guys, all of this information is on 664 Connect Media as well. So you can definitely head down to the dinner and gala from 7 p.m. So I think the dinner is going from 7 till 9. So you guys ready? Please make sure your typing fingers are ready, because my next question is... Luciano won, sorry, didn't win, sorry. He was nominated for 2 Grammys for 2 of his albums. If you can tell me the name of those albums, you win a ticket. So Luciano is a Grammy-nominated artist. If you can tell me the 2 albums that he was nominated for a Grammy for, you win a ticket. So again, Luciano is a Grammy-nominated artist. If you can tell me the 2 albums that he was nominated for a Grammy for, you win. So he was nominated for a Grammy in 2002, and he was also nominated for a Grammy in 2016. So if you can list those 2 albums, a quick search on Wikipedia will give you the answer, just a little hint. You'll win a ticket to Emerald City Fest tomorrow. So the question is, Luciano is a 2 times nominated Grammy. He was nominated for a Grammy 2 times. What are the names of those 2 albums that he was nominated for a Grammy for? So one was in 2002 and one was in 2016. So Zion, Awake, and Rolling Stone is incorrect. You got one of them correct, but I'm not going to tell you which one. You need to tell me the other one. So 2 of his albums are Grammy nominated. If you can tell me what they are, you win a free ticket. So Tashana has 1 correct, but she needs to tell me the other one. So the question is to win a ticket to Emerald City Fest, to name the 2 albums, 2 of Luciano's albums that were nominated for a Grammy. So that's only 1 album, Precious Gems. You need to give me 2 albums. So he was nominated in 2002 and 2016. So if you can tell me the names of those albums, then you win a free ticket. You need to give me the full name of the albums, please. So Selena, if you can give me the full name of the albums, I'll give you the ticket. Right now, you give me half of the name, which isn't fair. So if you tell me the 2 names of the albums, then the full names, guys, then you win. Selena, you're very close. All we have to do is just give me the full name. I'm not going to tell you which one. So he's been nominated for a Grammy twice, and 1 for an album in 2002 and 1 for an album in 2016. I need the full names, please. You're still giving me the same thing again, Selena. So Andrea Douglas is in fact correct. The 2 albums are A New Day and Zion Awake. Let me just go back here in the comments and make sure. Hold on. The screens are a little bit delayed. So I'm going to give that to Andrea Douglas because she gave us the full answer there. So thank you very much, Andrea, for participating. And you win a ticket to Emerald City Fest taking place tomorrow. So again, guys, I just want to give you some information about the event before I go. The event is taking place tomorrow at the Montserrat Cultural Centre car park. And you can purchase your tickets at Ashok Supermarkets in Braids. It's the supermarket on your left with the very steep driveway as you're heading towards Salem. And you can purchase your tickets there. Advance tickets are $120 and admission on the door will be $135. So Andrea Douglas is our lucky winner. So there's no time for anybody else to submit their answer because she's already won. So the first ticket winner was Sherlyn Woods, and the second ticket winner is Andrea Douglas. So the special guests at the Emerald City Fest are Luciano, of course, George Nooks, Silk 9, Official Lord. And like I said, tickets are available at Ashok Supermarket in Braids or from the promoter. I know my aunt Avril Carty is also selling tickets, so you can reach out to her as well. And yes, guys, if you need any more information about Emerald City Fest, I encourage you to follow them on their Instagram and their Facebook page at Emerald City Fest. Like I said, taking place earlier today, or today in general, is It's Fashion. So go down there and meet Miss Molly Wint and friends as they showcase beautiful African prints and also our local Madras national fabric. Also, we have the Roman Catholic Church who will be presenting St. Patrick's Dinner and Cabaret. And this will be held at the Viewpoint Hotel, and all proceeds go to the church and also the school. And of course, we have Stratify, which returns at 10 p.m. tonight, and they will have a lineup featuring A Voice, Triple K, Young Brother, Pimping, and DJ Hottie. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I apologize for the fact that, you know, he just dropped out just like that. But I'm sure that you guys enjoyed a very long, deep conversation, I must say, that we just had. So thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I'll play the video for this event. And then I'm hoping to have interviews. I'm hoping to have some cool down interviews. I've already been approached by people who are saying I interview everybody else and I didn't interview them and things like that. So I'll probably have some more interviews coming up in the very near future, so look out for those. But for now, I need some rest and I need some sleep and I need some food before I go and enjoy the fashion. So keep it locked to 664 Connect as well, because I may very well live stream the fashion show. So tune into that. And until next time, guys, here's the promo video for Emerald City Fest, and take care.
March 17, 2024, Carnival City comes alive for Emerald City Fest. The Messenger, Luciano.
Greetings to all my fans. Montserrat, this is Luciano Jah Messenger, inviting one and all to the Emerald City Fest in Montserrat, when Terra X Promotion presents The Messenger in concert alongside George Nooks, Silk 9, Official Lord, on March 17, 2024. Make it a date and don't be late. Come and see The Messenger live and kicking. God's willing. Just say now, the Messenger. See you there.
Free over my soul.
All the way from Jamaica, George Nooks.
Hi, I'm George Nooks, and I'll be at Emerald City Fest. When you have troubles, don't cry.
And performing live from Montserrat, Silk, 9, and Official Law. Early warm-up by Terra X Sound and Multiplex I Power. Your host on the night, Basil Chambers HD and Ibis the Livest. Get your tickets for $120 or you pay $135 at the gate. VIP is $350. Gates open and the show starts at 9 p.m. This event is powered by Terra X Promotions in association with Stylish Death Events. Sponsored by Mac, King Ocean Services, Ashok Supermarket, 44 Chucking, Churchgut Entertainment, and 44 Rentals. This one's an event you don't want to miss. Emerald City Fest 2024. Montserrat, the Messenger is coming.
It was a lonely night, a night like this, when I lay down on my bed.